From Farm Boy to Factory King, the Henry Ford story. Read and published by Mr. Books. Henry Ford, a name synonymous with innovation and revolution, was not born into wealth or privilege. His journey from a humble farm boy in Michigan to the king of the American automobile industry epitomizes the quintessential American dream. Born on July 30, 1863, in a rural farming community, Ford's early life was rooted in simplicity and hard work. He grew up on a small farm where he developed a fascination with machinery and mechanics, often tinkering with devices and engines in his spare time. This innate curiosity set the stage for a lifetime of innovation. As a child, Ford was not content with the status quo. He yearned for greater understanding and exploration of the mechanical world. His early experiences working on the family farm instilled in him a strong work ethic and a tenacity that would later define his business ventures. Ultimately, Ford left the farm to pursue an apprenticeship as a machinist in Detroit, a pivotal decision that would expose him to the burgeoning industrial landscape of the city. The Industrial Revolution was transforming America, and Ford was keenly aware of its potential. His early encounters with steam engines and his employment at various mechanics shops spurred his ambition to revolutionize personal transportation. He envisioned a future where automobiles were accessible to the masses rather than a luxury for the affluent. This vision became the cornerstone of his entrepreneurial aspirations, leading him to establish the Ford Motor Company in 1903. Ford's groundbreaking work with the Model T and the implementation of the assembly line forever altered the face of manufacturing. The Model T not only made car ownership attainable for the average American, but also set a precedent for mass production techniques in various industries. His innovations not only streamlined production, but also empowered workers with higher wages and shorter working hours, contributing to a growing middle class. However, Ford's journey was not without challenges. His career was marked by controversies, including labor disputes, personal beliefs, and business practices that have sparked critical debate. As we delve deeper into Ford's life, we will explore how his formative years shaped his business philosophy, the innovative spirit that drove him, the obstacles he encountered, and the lasting impact it had his contributions to society. This comprehensive exploration of From Farm Boy to Factory King, the Henry Ford story seeks to illuminate the complexity of Ford as both a pioneer and a polarizing figure in American history. The lessons learned from his journey remain relevant, providing insights into the dynamics of entrepreneurship, innovation, and social responsibility in today's fast-paced world. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button to support the channel. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an audiobook that could change your life. Now, let's begin. Enjoy. Chapter 1: Early Life and Rural Beginnings. Henry Ford's journey commenced in the quiet town of Dearborn, Michigan, on a small family farm. Raised amidst the sprawling fields and rustic simplicity of rural life, Ford's early years were characterized by labor and an intimate understanding of the natural world. His parents, William and Mary Ford, were immigrants of Irish descent, instilling in young Henry values of hard work, perseverance, and integrity. These principles would serve as the foundation for his later endeavors. From a young age, Ford demonstrated a keen interest in mechanics. Unlike many children who were preoccupied with leisure, he often found himself dismantling clocks and other household devices, eager to understand their inner workings. This fascination with how things worked distinguished him from his peers and pointed him toward a future in engineering. Education was a privilege Ford pursued despite the farm's demands. He attended a one-room schoolhouse where his innate curiosity shone through. Although his formal schooling ended at the age of 16, Ford's thirst for knowledge remained unquenchable. He sought out opportunities to learn, absorbing information and honing his skills in mechanics through hands-on experience. At age 15, Ford left the farm for Detroit, securing an apprenticeship at a nearby machinist shop. It was a transformative step, marking his transition from agrarian life to the burgeoning industrial scene of a rapidly developing metropolis. The grit and determination he cultivated on the farm equipped him for the rigor of working in factories and shops, where the noise of machinery and the scent of oil replaced the tranquility of nature. In Detroit, the dynamic environment exposed Ford to the latest technological advancements. He marveled at the rapid developments of steam engines and the marvel of the internal combustion engine. His innate mechanical skills flourished as he worked alongside skilled artisans and learned the intricacies of machinery. After several years of labor in the machinist trade, Ford ventured into the newly emerging automobile industry, a move that would ultimately define his career. By the late 1890s, he had gained invaluable experience in various capacities, including test driving new vehicles. In 1896, he constructed his first gasoline-powered horseless carriage, known as the quadricycle. The successful demonstration of this vehicle solidified Ford's passion for automotive engineering and served as a springboard for future ventures. Ford's early life on the farm had a lasting influence on his entrepreneurial spirit. The lessons learned from his parents about hard work and innovation echoed throughout his life, culminating in the establishment of the Ford Motor Company. Ford's fledgling efforts in manufacturing and automation were rooted in a desire not only to create efficient vehicles, but to democratize the automobile, making it accessible to millions of Americans. As we progress through this narrative, we will explore how these foundational experiences influenced Ford's vision and strategies as he navigated the competitive landscape of the automotive industry. His evolution from a rural farm boy to a visionary entrepreneur illustrates the profound impact of personal background on professional aspirations. With an unwavering commitment to innovation and progress, Ford's legacy as the factory king began to take shape, leading to the transformation of both the automobile industry and American society as a whole. Chapter 2: The Spark of Innovation. Henry Ford's foray into the world of innovation and entrepreneurship was not merely an outcome of talent or ambition. It was a journey fueled by a relentless drive for improvement and a vision of a transformed society. The late 19th and early 20th centuries marked a period of unprecedented change and opportunity in America, as the Industrial Revolution transformed the economy and the landscape of everyday life. Ford, with his unique insights and experiences, became a significant player in this shift, laying the foundation for a new era in transportation. After successfully building the quadricycle in 1896, Ford's appetite for innovation grew. He understood that to effect change within the automobile industry, he would need to embrace new technologies and methodologies. His first direct venture into the automotive business was the Detroit Automobile Company, founded in 1899. However, this initial attempt faced numerous challenges, leading to insufficient production and financial mishaps. The lessons learned from this experience were critical, prompting Ford to reassess his strategies and identify the areas needing improvement. Undeterred, Ford redirected his efforts and collaborated with a group of investors to form the Henry Ford Company in 1901. This new venture was pivotal for several reasons. First, it allowed Ford to implement a design philosophy that prioritized reliability and cost-effectiveness, key attributes that would resonate with consumers. Second, it provided Ford the opportunity to harness the talents of skilled craftsmen while integrating more streamlined processes into his operations. In 1903, Ford founded the Ford Motor Company, a definitive turning point in his career. The company's vision was crystal clear: to produce a simple, affordable, and durable automobile for the mass market. This vision was underpinned by the core principles that Ford had nurtured since his days in the family farm: efficiency, quality craftsmanship, and a commitment to accessibility for everyday Americans. But what truly set Ford apart from his contemporaries was his understanding of the importance of innovation. He believed that true progress lay not only in creating new products, but in improving the processes involved in their production. This belief led him to study the emerging principles of mass production, as well as the burgeoning concept of the assembly line. In a groundbreaking move, Ford implemented the assembly line production technique in 1913. This revolutionary approach dramatically increased the efficiency of manufacturing processes, allowing Ford to reduce manufacturing time and costs. For context, the production time for a single vehicle, which had originally taken over 12 hours, was reduced to less than 3 hours. This dramatic transformation was crucial, as it enabled the Ford Motor Company to meet the rising demand for automobiles in a rapidly growing market. The introduction of the assembly line not only enabled Ford to produce cars at an unprecedented scale, but also allowed him to offer the Model T at a price that was accessible to the average worker. By 1924, the Ford Model T was priced at just $260, representing a significant decrease from its original cost. The widespread availability of the Model T became a catalyst for change in American society, freeing rural families from the confines of their geographical locations and providing new mobility and opportunities. Moreover, Ford recognized that a satisfied workforce was integral to a successful enterprise. He famously implemented the $5 workday in 1914, doubling the average wage of factory workers at the time. This bold move was primarily motivated by Ford's desire to ensure that his employees could afford the very products they were manufacturing. By doing so, he cultivated loyalty and encouraged greater productivity among his workforce, fostering a culture of shared success. Yet, Ford's innovations were not solely confined to the production of automobiles. His approach also extended to marketing and business practices. He understood the significance of branding and public relations in an increasingly competitive market. The Ford Motor Company's emphasis on reliability and affordability became hallmarks of its marketing strategy, setting a precedent for future practices in the industry. As we progress to the next chapter, we will examine the monumental success of the Model T and how it epitomized Ford's vision of creating a car for the masses. The impact of the Model T resonated far beyond transportation. It transformed the fabric of American society and laid the groundwork for a new era of innovation and industrial progress. Chapter 3: The Rise of the Model T. The Model T Ford, often referred to simply as the Tin Lizzie, serves as a monument to Henry Ford's relentless pursuit of innovation and his transformative impact on the automotive industry. Introduced to the public in 1908, the Model T was designed with a singular vision to produce an affordable, reliable automobile that would be accessible to the average American. As we explore the rise of the Model T, we highlight not only the vehicle's technical attributes, but also its broader social implications. Ford's vision for the Model T was rooted in a desire to democratize the automobile, translating high-quality automotive engineering into a product that the everyday citizen could afford. The design of the Model T was revolutionary for its time, characterized by its lightweight construction and adaptability. It featured a simple, sturdy chassis and was equipped with a powerful 4-cylinder engine that delivered impressive performance for the era. The vehicle could maneuver through rural roads, making it an ideal choice for American families living outside urban centers. The introduction of the Model T was deftly timed, coinciding with a growing demand for personal transportation. As America became increasingly urbanized during the early 20th century, traditional forms of mobility began to fall short of the needs of a burgeoning population. People yearned for independence, the freedom to travel, and the convenience that an automobile could offer. Ford recognized this need and adeptly positioned the Model T to fulfill it. The manufacturing process of the Model T, however, was what truly set it apart. Henry Ford's implementation of the assembly line in 1913 revolutionized not just the production of the Model T, but manufacturing as a whole. The assembly line allowed for unprecedented efficiency. Cars that once took hours to assemble could now be completed in a fraction of the time, dramatically reducing production costs and allowing Ford to lower the price of the Model T. Between 1908 and 1927, over 15 million units of the Model T were sold, making it the best-selling vehicle in automotive history. Beyond its mechanical innovations, the Model T had a profound impact on the American landscape. The widespread adoption of automobiles transformed the nation's infrastructure. Roads were built or improved, gas stations began to proliferate, and towns sprouted along highways. The automobile catalyzed suburbia's rise, enabling people to live farther away from their workplaces, an entirely new lifestyle that redefined American living. As more families acquired Model Ts, the social dynamics of American life began to shift. Middle-class families, who had once been tied to their geographic locations, now found themselves with newfound freedom and opportunity. The impact of the Model T rippled across suburban communities, enhancing mobility and accessibility. For many, owning a car symbolized success and independence, signifying an essential piece of the American identity. Moreover, Ford's marketing techniques played a pivotal role in the Model T's popularity. The company effectively created a narrative around the vehicle that emphasized its reliability, simplicity, and affordability. Advertisements extolled not only the practical benefits, but also the emotional appeal of automobile ownership. The Model T represented adventure and freedom ideals that resonated deeply with the American public. However, Ford's success with the Model T was not without its challenges. As competition in the automotive market intensified, Ford faced pressure to innovate. Rivals began to enter the market, offering more luxurious and innovative vehicles. Additionally, as models became increasingly sophisticated, consumer expectations evolved. The Model T, while revolutionary, fell prey to stagnation. The last Model T was produced in 1927, marking an era that required Ford to transition into a new phase of automotive design and production. Ford's experience with the Model T exemplifies the intersection of innovation, marketing, and societal change. The vehicle did more than mobilize Americans. It altered the very fabric of their daily lives. As we move forward, we will delve into the subsequent innovations introduced by Ford and how his commitment to continuous improvement paved the way for the next chapter of automotive history. The legacy of the Model T remains a testament to the spirit of innovation that drove Henry Ford from the fields of Michigan to the pinnacle of industrial achievement. Chapter 4: Revolutionizing Manufacturing, the Assembly Line. Henry Ford is frequently hailed as a revolutionary figure, not only in the automobile industry, but also in the field of manufacturing as a whole. While his name is often associated with the iconic Model T, it is the ingenuity of the assembly line that stands out as one of his most significant contributions to industrial practices. This chapter explores the origins, implementation, and profound impact of the assembly line production technique, illustrating how it forever changed the landscape of manufacturing. The assembly line concept is not solely the brainchild of Ford. Its roots can be traced back to various manufacturing processes, such as those used in the early meatpacking industry, where products were passed along a conveyor belt to streamline production. However, it was Ford who recognized its potential and adapted it to suit the automotive manufacturing process, particularly for the Model T. In 1913, Ford introduced the moving assembly line in his factory in Highland Park, Michigan. This innovative approach radically transformed how automobiles were built. Prior to this development, automobiles were manufactured through a series of processes where skilled workers completed each vehicle sequentially. The moving assembly line changed this paradigm by segmenting the manufacturing process into distinct tasks executed by numerous workers alongside a continuously moving conveyor belt. The benefits of this system were immediate and significant. By breaking down the assembly process into simple, repetitive tasks, Ford was able to dramatically enhance productivity. Vehicles that once took over 12 hours to build could now be assembled in less than 3 hours. This newfound efficiency hastened production times and allowed Ford to respond more swiftly to consumer demands. The speed of production not only lowered costs, but also allowed for a substantial reduction in retail prices, making automobiles accessible to a broader segment of the population. Ford's implementation of the assembly line was complemented by a series of other business strategies that further optimized his manufacturing processes. He employed a method known as just-in-time production, which minimized waste by producing only what was needed when it was needed. This strategic alignment of production helped keep costs down and inventories at optimum levels, further enhancing profitability. Moreover, the assembly line had far-reaching implications beyond just automotive manufacturing. Its principles were adopted by various industries, revolutionizing the production of consumer goods, electronics, and even food products. The assembly line became synonymous with mass production, a concept that would dominate industrial practices throughout the 20th century. However, this transformation wasn't without its drawbacks. The rise of the assembly line led to a shift in the nature of labor. Workers became less involved in the creative and skilled processes of manufacturing, often performing repetitive tasks that could lead to physical strain and mental fatigue. Labor relations began to sour as workers sought better conditions and fair pay, culminating in significant labor unrest in the years that followed. This highlighted the tension between efficiency and the well-being of the workforce, an issue that continues to resonate in today's manufacturing environments. Despite these challenges, Ford's assembly line remains a landmark achievement in manufacturing history. The system exemplified the synergy of technology, innovation, and business acumen that defined the early 20th century. Ford's commitment to refining production techniques pushed the boundaries of what was possible, laying the groundwork for modern manufacturing standards that persist today. The assembly line was not merely a technical advancement. It was a cultural phenomenon that transformed the American workforce and economy. It embodied the ideal of American industrialization, a focus on efficiency, and the mass production of goods that catered to a growing consumer base. As we transition to the next chapter, we will examine the challenges and controversies that arose as Ford's innovations continued to evolve, delving into how he navigated the complex landscape of labor relations and societal expectations in his quest for industrial supremacy. Chapter 5: Challenges and Controversies. The story of Henry Ford is one of remarkable innovation and achievement. However, it is also a narrative punctuated by challenges and controversies. As the Ford Motor Company rose to unprecedented heights, so too did the scrutiny of its practices, values, and the man at its helm. This chapter delves into the multifaceted challenges Ford faced, including labor disputes, personal ideologies, and public controversies that shaped his legacy. As Ford's assembly line boosted production rates and profits, the nature of the labor force began to change. While Ford introduced measures that improved worker wages, most notably the famous $5 workday, in 1914, his factory environments often left much to be desired. The repetitive nature of the work led to significant physical and mental strain on workers. Labor unions, which were gaining traction during this period, began to organize workers to advocate for better conditions, shorter hours, and fair compensation. Ford's relationship with labor unions was contentious. Initially, he resisted unionization efforts, believing firmly that he could provide for his workers without their intervention. He viewed unions as a threat to his authority and the autonomy of his business. This hostility culminated in a series of violent confrontations, most notably in the infamous Battle of the Overpass in 1937, where supporters of the United Auto Workers UAW clashed violently with Ford security forces. Such events raised questions about Ford's commitment to labor rights and his management style. Compounding the labor issues were Ford's controversial personal beliefs and ideologies. He was a complex figure whose views often straddled the line between innovative industrialist and controversial public figure. A noted anti-Semite, Ford published a series of articles in his newspaper, the Dearborn Independent, that espoused derogatory views about Jews. This stance not only alienated potential allies, but also tarnished his public image. The repercussions of these views were significant. They sparked outrage and fueled unwarranted conspiracies that persisted for decades. Furthermore, Ford's strong anti-union stance and his belief in corporate paternalism extended to his attitude toward government regulation and intervention. He was a staunch advocate for laissez-faire economics, opposing any governmental interference in business operations. However, this philosophy placed him at odds with the realities of a changing society that was beginning to demand accountability from corporations. The Great Depression exacerbated these tensions, revealing the vulnerabilities within an economy heavily reliant on industrial giants like Ford's. Despite the mounting pressure, Ford remained a resolute advocate for the automobile and its potential to transform lives. He envisioned a world where increased mobility could lead to enhanced economic growth and individual prosperity. Ford's philanthropic efforts in education and public health demonstrated his genuine interest in societal advancement, further complicating the narrative surrounding his legacy. Yet, Ford's controversies were not limited solely to his labor practices or personal beliefs. His business decisions, particularly concerning production and quality, were sometimes under scrutiny. His unyielding focus on cost-cutting led to concerns about product durability, especially with later models that suffered from quality control issues. The tensions between maintaining affordability and ensuring quality sparked debates within the industry and among consumers. Regardless of the personal and professional controversies, Ford remained a resilient figure. He was willing to adapt and evolve, often influenced by external pressures. In the late 1930s, recognizing the tide of labor unrest and increased union influence, Ford's attitudes began to shift. He eventually accepted a more cooperative approach with unions, acknowledging the need for a more stable and satisfied workforce. This shift would prove vital as the automotive industry faced increasing competition and economic pressures from abroad. Turning the page on Ford's controversies reveals a narrative of reconciliation and adaptation. By the time of his passing in 1947, Ford had solidified his legacy as both a pioneer and a polarizing figure in American history. His intricate blend of innovation and controversy presents a nuanced view of a man whose contributions transformed an industry, but were accompanied by challenges that reflected the complexities of the age. As we progress to the next chapter, we will explore the legacy of the Ford Motor Company beyond Ford himself, examining how his innovations and controversies influenced the workforce, the economy, and American society at large. Ford's journey illustrates the delicate balance between ambition and responsibility, a lesson that continues to resonate in contemporary discourse around corporate practices and accountability. Chapter 6: The Legacy of the Ford Motor Company. Henry Ford's influence on the automotive industry and American society is indelibly marked by the legacy of the Ford Motor Company. Founded in 1903, the company rapidly evolved into one of the world's leading automobile manufacturers. Ford's vision to produce affordable vehicles culminated in the launch of the Model T in 1908, a revolutionary step that changed personal transportation forever. The enduring legacy of the Ford Motor Company is not just in the vehicles it produced, but in how it transformed the manufacturing landscape, labor relations, and American consumer culture. From its inception, the Ford Motor Company set out to make automobiles accessible to the average American. By implementing the assembly line technique, a concept borrowed from other industries, Ford drastically reduced production costs and time. This innovation enabled the company to lower prices for consumers while increasing wages for workers, a strategy that fostered employee loyalty and set a standard in labor relations. Despite its success, the company faced numerous challenges, including economic downturns and intense competition. The Great Depression tested Ford's resolve, leading to significant shifts in corporate strategy. By the 1930s, the company began to diversify its offerings, expanding into various automobile models and aligning with modern consumer demands. The introduction of new lines, such as the Ford Vate, showcased the company's adaptability and commitment to innovation, reinforcing its market dominance. Ford's legacy extends beyond the confines of manufacturing. It also encompasses significant contributions to corporate philanthropy. The establishment of the Ford Foundation in 1936 was a pivotal move in addressing social issues and promoting education and community development. This philanthropic arm transformed the company's image, illustrating that corporate success can be aligned with social responsibility. Furthermore, Ford's focus on building a strong labor force initiated shifts in labor policies that influenced the entire automotive industry. The introduction of the $5 workday in 1914 not only set a precedent for fair wages, but also revolutionized worker conditions, emphasizing the importance of treating employees with respect and dignity. As we reflect on the legacy of the Ford Motor Company, it becomes clear that it is inextricably linked to Henry Ford's vision. His insistence on efficiency, worker welfare, and social responsibility continues to influence corporate philosophies in the contemporary business landscape. Today, as companies grapple with ethical leadership and corporate social responsibility, the foundational principles laid by Ford resonate more than ever. Chapter 7: Ford's Social Impact and Philanthropy. Henry Ford recognized that wealth and success come with a profound responsibility towards society. His philanthropic endeavors were an extension of his core beliefs that industrial progress could drive social improvement. This chapter explores how Ford's actions transcended his role as a businessman to position him as a pivotal figure in American social reform. At the heart of Ford's philanthropy was the belief that employees should benefit not just from their labor, but also from the success of the company. His implementation of the $5 workday was revolutionary and sought to provide workers with a living wage. By increasing pay, Ford aimed to enhance the quality of life for his employees, thus fostering a loyal workforce. This unprecedented salary drew public attention and was instrumental in shaping labor practices in the early 20th century, positioning Ford as not merely an industrial magnate, but as a leader in labor welfare. In 1936, Ford founded the Ford Foundation, which became one of the largest philanthropic organizations worldwide. The foundation's mission was to support innovative solutions to global challenges through education, research, and community development. Ford believed that empowering individuals through education would cultivate a society capable of self-improvement, reflecting his idealistic vision of community upliftment. His commitment to education was evident in investments in schools, vocational training programs, and the promotion of scientific research. Ford believed that a well-educated workforce would not only benefit industry, but also elevate society as a whole. His contributions laid the groundwork for large-scale educational reforms and established models for corporate involvement in social causes. Beyond education, Ford's philanthropic efforts extended to various social initiatives, including healthcare and racial equality. During a time when racial segregation was rampant, Ford's factories employed individuals regardless of race, setting a precedent within industrial workplaces. His stance on racial integration was groundbreaking and illustrated a commitment to inclusivity that many industrialists of his time overlooked. Moreover, Ford's legacy in philanthropy serves as a reminder of the potential for business leaders to enact meaningful change. His vision for a better society through industrial success continues to inspire leaders today, emphasizing the dual responsibility of businesses to their shareholders and the broader community. As we examine Ford's contributions, it becomes evident that his influence is interwoven with social progress. His ability to recognize the interconnectedness of industry and society set a foundation for corporate philanthropy and social responsibility that endures in modern business practices. Chapter 8: Lessons from Henry Ford's Journey. The story of Henry Ford is rich with lessons for entrepreneurs, leaders, and innovators who seek to make their mark on the world. His journey underscores the importance of vision, resilience, and ethical leadership. This chapter distills the key takeaways from Ford's life, offering insights that remain relevant in today's rapidly changing business environment. One of the most profound lessons from Ford's journey is the significance of innovation. Ford's relentless pursuit of efficiency through the assembly line revolutionized not only automotive manufacturing, but set in motion a wave of industrial innovation. Entrepreneurs today can glean insights about the necessity of embracing change and continuously seeking improvement, be it in product design, manufacturing processes, or customer engagement strategies. Furthermore, Ford's commitment to fair labor practices highlights the importance of ethics in leadership. His approach to workforce management was pioneering for his time, promoting the idea that businesses thrive best when they invest in their people. Modern leaders must recognize that a motivated and satisfied workforce is essential for long-term success. Implementing fair labor practices not only fosters loyalty, but also enhances productivity. Additionally, Ford's dedication to philanthropy offers a vital lesson about the role of corporate responsibility in society. His belief that businesses should contribute to the betterment of communities remains an essential principle in today's corporate environment. Leaders are challenged now, more than ever, to consider the social implications of their actions and to engage in practices that support sustainable development, social equity, and community empowerment. Moreover, Ford's ability to navigate challenges serves as a testament to the importance of resilience in leadership. Throughout his career, Ford faced numerous obstacles: economic recessions, labor strikes, and market competition. Each time, he adapted and evolved, showcasing an important lesson that setbacks are often precursors to growth. Entrepreneurs must cultivate resilience, learning to pivot in the face of adversity and maintain a focus on their vision. In conclusion, the journey of Henry Ford is not merely a historical account of a single individual's accomplishments. It embodies a series of lessons that echo in the corridors of modern business. His relentless drive for innovation, commitment to ethical labor practices, dedication to philanthropy, and resilience serve as a guiding light for future generations. As we reflect on Ford's life and legacy, we are reminded that true greatness lies not just in success, but in the positive impact one leaves on the world. If you found this video helpful, inspiring, or entertaining, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on future content. Your support means the world. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.